Good. Thank you. So I do want to welcome everybody. I'm so excited that everybody is here. And we will have some more people I know jump in and join us as we celebrate Gateways 2021, our Looking Up issue, which is beautiful. And I'm really excited about it. And one of the best parts about doing Gateways, of course, is being able to celebrate with our contributors. So I'm really delighted to have folks with us. And I think we'll have some more people kind of joining in as we go along, because some people have different kinds of schedules. And of course, we are recording, so we'll get to let some folks join us a little bit later on as well. Gateways, as everybody knows, is definitely a group effort. So that is why I'm so pleased to have so many of our contributors every time join us as we celebrate, because Gateways, you make Gateways happen. But we also would not have Gateways if it were not for Dr. Boyd, whose vision this is. So I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Boyd, first of all, for a few words. And again, thanking him for giving us.
Well, it's easy to come up with the ideas, but you need people like Elizabeth to make them work. And,
Yes.
Elizabeth has done a great job. It's been now 10 years.
Wow.
And none of us have aged a day, and so but it's been it certainly is a good thing for the community, I think, and it's a great opportunity for people to express themselves and be published, and I know how hard and how much work it is for Elizabeth and all the people that help her with the proof, and particularly all of you that are writing for it. I mean, it's just a great thing that you guys do, and it's something that so many people, that brings joy to so many people that can sit down and read it and enjoy it. And so thank you for everyone that's involved in this, and the writing of it and the proofing of it, particularly for Elizabeth for leading the efforts, because I know that's without her this would not be a reality. So thank you, Elizabeth, and for all that you do, and thank you all for joining us tonight. And I look forward to times again when we can do these things in person. But I think all this will ultimately change, in that even when we start able to do it in person, we'll probably be able to tie it in with Zoom, so people from around the country can join us like they are tonight.
Yeah, great idea.
It'd be the best. And then all of us can sit and have a glass of wine in front of them. Wishing they were with us. So Elizabeth, thank you again, and I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Boyd, and you were very kind. I'm honored to be able to do Gateways. I told somebody, unfortunately, about 2 years ago, I was telling somebody, I said, my two favorite things that I get to do at Mayland are Gateways and the Halloween Spooktacular. The two, because I was talking about all the neat things that you had done there, and I said, and two of Dr. Boyd's inventions are my favorite things. Hey, Brenda, and I said that was the Spooktacular and Gateways. And I was just crushed, that we have not been able to do Spooktacular. And I said, just please don't take Gateways away, because Gateways is kind of I'm hanging on to that. So excited to have that. We also could not have Gateways without Margaret. Margaret is sometimes like our silent partner. She does so much, and there's so much that I rely on her for, that it's really outside my realm of expertise, certainly. So I'm so grateful for Margaret, and so appreciative for her and the foundation, and thankful for what they do. So I want to turn it over to Margaret just for a second.
Well, thanks, Elizabeth. And again, thank you everyone for joining us tonight. It's great to see friendly faces who I only sometimes get to see once a year, and that's always really fun. One of the things that's my favorite about Gateways is not only the variety of what everyone comes up with each year, but how many people continue to submit things year after year, and continue to fill our creative minds with beautiful things. So thank you all for continuing to contribute, because in addition, without Elizabeth, we would not be doing this without you all, to have something to publish. So you're a huge part of it. And I also want to thank our donors who contributed in order to make this magazine or this journal so beautiful in color and free, that we are able to give it to all the little libraries that are hidden away in parks and leave around in airports and all, I know Elizabeth has left some at the governor's mansion before, which I love that story. And that we can send as many copies to you all as you wish, as a result of some very generous donors who understand the importance of literary publishing and creative journals. So that's a huge boon for the foundation, certainly. And if you all still need some copies, we have more that we can send you, or if you're local and you can pick them up from one of our 3 campuses. All 3 campuses have stacks of them at the main desk. So you just have to walk in and ask for some more copies of Gateways, and they'll gladly hand them over to you to distribute around to the community. So I think that we need to start listening to some of these great things. And thank you all for coming.
Thank you, Margaret. And our donors, of course, always appreciate Margaret and her work with the foundation and enabling us to have terrific opportunities to do things like Gateways. And so we do have some of our contributors here tonight, so we're going to be sharing some things. It's always exciting, as Margaret said. We have a lot of folks who contribute all the time. We have some new people. We have a few, there's at least one contributor in this issue that I have pestered for almost 10 years, who finally contributed something. So I was so excited about that. So it's wonderful to have that beautiful array. And we have sort of a casual arrangement for some reading this evening. And I think we have, like I said, we have a couple of folks who have not joined us yet, who might jump in here a little bit later. So we'll just skip them if they're not here yet. But Diana Mast White has agreed to read first for us. She has a beautiful piece called Looking Up that fits so perfectly with our theme. And as Margaret says, she's always impressed by I'm impressed by how it all works together. That's the thing that always amazes me. It's like, I know that many of you know each other, but I know you didn't really collaborate. It's just, so I love how that works. And Diana's Looking Up is a perfect piece for this collection and a really good way for us to start this evening. So I'm going to turn it over to her.
Well, thank you, Elizabeth, very much. I had written this, and then when I found out what the theme was for this year, I thought, this is just perfect. I will send this in. When I go out for my morning walk, I find I am usually looking down at the sidewalk in front of me so that I don't stumble. My field of vision is quite small, but it serves the purpose, and I am able to continue my walk with no mishap. I'm only thinking of the next few steps. From time to time, I look a bit ahead to be sure of my route. When I pass people on the sidewalk, this is my opportunity to raise my eyes to acknowledge them and smile. This expands my world from just me and my safety to include others and to realize that I am not alone. I interact with others even in a most casual way. Then I feel the warmth of the sun enveloping me in light and in gentle heat. The soft breeze refreshes me and encourages me to breathe deeply and smell the fresh aroma of the day. In a natural response, I look up and I see the glory of creation and give thanks for myself, for others, and for nature and the world that are always here, asking nothing but to be valued and treasured.
So beautiful, Diana.
Yes, it's great.
Thank you.
And I can't believe you actually wrote that before you knew what the theme was.
I did.
I told you it was magic.
It all just worked out well.
It's beautiful. I love that. That is wonderful. Thank you so much, Diana.
Oh, well, thank you for including me.
Thank you. It's just, you guys are just amazing. You're fantastic. And now I think Jesse's going to read for us, but he has not joined us yet. So we'll let him read when he arrives. And Arlene is going to read something for us. And Arlene does such wonderful work for us. And she sent me a beautiful collection. Your story in here, Arlene, just, if you haven't read Arlene's story about you need to read this story. It was exactly the day that I needed it. It was one of those, this is what you need to read today. And it was such a gift. Thank you. So Arlene was still deciding about which of her wonderful stories she's going to share. So I'm going to be surprised too and see which one it is.
Well, I took the shortest one. So that I don't go on and on and on. So I'm going to read my story called Patricia and the Paste Jar. Patricia was in my pre-kindergarten class in Lower Manhattan in the 1960s when I taught in the national and newly begun Head Start program. Her clothes were raggedy, she was dirty, her hair was uncombed, and she had the saddest big brown eyes I had ever seen on a child that age. She wouldn't play, she wouldn't talk, she just sat there looking down. She had a sister or brother in every grade from 1st to 6th. After that, the next step for children in this family was often prison. On the first day of school, during free play, another child came up to me and pointed to Patricia. She was eating from the large paste jar. I sat down next to her on one of the little chairs and asked why she was doing that. She said she was hungry. I gave her my paper bag lunch to eat right there, right then, and promised to bring her a tasty snack every morning, but told her she was not to eat from the paste jar anymore, as it would give her a tummy ache. I just got goosebumps because I remember that encounter so intensely. For the next several months, I brought in the small individual little boxes of cereal one could buy back then, a pint of milk, and raisins or bananas. She ate her breakfast while the other children had playtime. No one asked why. They seemed to understand. I also gave her hugs and kisses every day. No one asked about that either. Little by little, Patricia had more bright moments. I could get her to try a puzzle, look through a picture book, draw with crayons, play with the guinea pig. One morning, midway through the year, she came to school all dressed up and smiling like someone with a happy secret. Her hair was neatly combed into braids secured with colorful barrettes. I grabbed her in a big hug and asked how come she looked so special that day. She answered, shyly looking up at my face, and said in her sweet little girl voice, "Because you love me." She floored me. I have never forgotten that precious moment. And that is one of the great moments of my whole life. Patricia's face still haunts me. I often wonder how she fared in life with so much against her, but I do know that she experienced love. It has been my hope all these years that love combined with the fun of learning made a difference in the lives of all the little ones I taught, but especially in the life of this one child. How fortunate I was to be part of the extraordinary Head Start program. It gave children like Patricia and the community she lived in the beginning of a future with promise.
That's great, Arlene.
Thank
That's
you.
great.
You know, with all this technology in the world, I wonder if we couldn't find Patricia. I've wondered that ever since you sent me this. I wonder if we could find her, because wouldn't it be wonderful for her to get to read that story?
Wow.
What a big difference that you had made in her life. It's amazing. That is beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Arlene.
You're my pleasure.
And I love, that's one of the things I really love about our contributors is that you bring these people, these experiences that we would never know, and we get to meet them by looking at the photographs. Sometimes the faces in the photographs or the images in the photographs, they are just so amazing. It's like, I never got to see that. I never got to see this, which is incredible. There's these images of, this is amazing. Thank you. Thank you for allowing us to have those experiences too. It's just fantastic. Thank you. Cindy Matthews is going to read us her story, Glamorous, which I have so much fun with this. And I told Cindy I love it because after I read the story the first time, I heard, and Isabella's lurking. She's invisible over here. But Isabella, whom so many of you have been so kind and so supportive of, Isabella, one of her very favorite shows in all the world is Wicked. And so the first time I read that story, I'm popular, there's the song, and I loved it. I love the story. It made me laugh. It just delighted me to no end. So I'm gonna let Cindy take it away.
Okay, thank you. This is Glamorous. I have a vivid memory of me at 10 years old, riding my bike up and down the street in front of my house singing, "There she is, Miss America." I could visualize myself in a long, sparkly dress, a spray of roses in my arms, crown newly placed atop my head, walking the stage as Burt Park sings to me. So glamorous. That could be me, I dreamed. I could belt out a song during the talent pageant, or perhaps learn a dance, or maybe hula hoop my way to winning the crown, a spectacular achievement. Flash forward to junior high. I really wanted to try out with my friends to be a teen model for our local department store. Teen models were in photo shoots and fashion shows at the mall. So glamorous. Unfortunately for my modeling career, I was barely 5 feet tall, weighed 85 pounds, and didn't even fit into a size 0 dress. My mother thought beauty pageants and teen modeling were silly, which surprised me. The walls of my grandmother's house were filled with photos of teenage mom, blonde curls flowing, in skimpy dance outfits, replete with fishnet stockings, tap shoes, top hat, and cane. Grandmother wanted her only daughter to be in show business, a showgirl. How glamorous. Instead, my mom happily married a doctor and choreographed the lives of 5 children. Dad's opinion was smart girls should focus on academics. So that's what I did. Good grades, student council in junior high, debate team in high school. His advice served me well. However, I satisfied my desire to perform by singing in the choir. Those choir robes weren't sparkly gowns, but we were on stage. The desire to be Miss America has long since passed me by. My life has been a happy, quieter one, but occasionally, perhaps when I'm cooking in the kitchen or gardening in the yard, I can still hear that tune. There she is.
Thank you, Cindy. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That is fantastic. I love that. You should just have a sash like for your birthday.
It would be a good idea. Good idea.
That brought back so many memories, Cindy. I'm sure a lot of us, but like you, my mom and I never missed, a show of Miss America. And it's just that tune is in your head, even all these years later. And it was a fun, wonderful time. So that brought back great memories.
Good.
Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you so much. It looks like Jesse has just joined us. And so Jesse, we'll let you hook us up with some music maybe on the way out, but I wanted to see, are you still up for reading your poem? We don't have, you're muted, so.
Jesse's muted.
Jesse's muted. Don't know if he's got me going here or not, so. Nope, now he's gone. Oh no. All right, well, maybe he'll come back. So hopefully he will rejoin us there, and we'll get him to do his poem. But in the meantime, we'll go ahead and let and let Nick Warner read his poem. And I'm so excited. One of the reasons why I love stories about teachers and students, of course, is as a teacher, as somebody who works with students, I'm always so excited to see my students bloom and grow and things. The person that I've pestered for almost a decade, who is not going to be able to make it this evening, but was a former student that I pestered saying, please send us something, please send us something. So here we got something. I was so excited. But it's always wonderful to see how students are doing.
Did that person send a piece of writing in?
She did. So yeah, that's Sandy. So if you've read Sandy's wonderful poem in this collection, that's what
Yes.
I begged for a really long
Yeah,
time.
it was beautiful
So
poem.
it's always a treat to see. Sometimes I do have to beg. And this year is really exciting. So I thought it was really wonderful. I had a poem in there from a student from long ago that I'm friends with. We've been friends for years since she was a student. And then I have Nick, and I'm saying Nick. You have Nicholas on your name there, but you prefer Nick.
Nick is fine. I really go by either. In more formal contexts, I go with Nicholas, but no one ever calls me that really.
This isn't that formal.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking so. So Nick is great.
So I'm so excited. So it's like I had bookends. I had a student from a while back, and then I had Nick, who's I just got to meet this past year, and he has a wonderful poem for us. I'm so excited he's going to read for us this evening. So take it away with your summer song, Nick.
Thank you. And I managed to find it quick enough. Fallow field and sky unbroken, green and blue, and also silence. Air we would have tilled with clouds, an aircraft like the summer farmer's plows is quiet, still. We wonder, is this last autumn's ivy on the barn? And this the paint that held in April's loudest storm? Eyes bright and bloodshot, setting sun, on blushing reds and pinks at evening, a thunderous color. Clouds drown out even the suggestion of white, and hills and tree lines ridge the valley and set bounds on deep sky depths that irrigate the houses by the highway. These houses know the sound of running, children's feet and big trucks without mufflers, and tractors tracing, trading, taking what they can from this good earth and from this time of year. A shout, a joy, a moment without thinking. I can walk all through my mountain, its forests, its roads, reaching further than my simple outstretched hand can touch the sky, and an endless ocean draining into the silo of that distant barn.
Beautiful.
Thank you. See, the future is in good hands, folks.
Thank you.
That is, it's always encouraging to me. We have such an incredible, diverse collection of people who contribute. So we have folks who are in their 70s who said, I think I'm going to write a poem, which I think is wonderful. I've got some pictures I took. And then we have students so it's just amazing. And I love that. That's one of the fantastic things about Gateways. And it's something that keeps me looking up. Okay, I see Jesse there now. So Jesse, are you ready? Are you ready for your poem?
Yep. I'm ready.
All right, take it away, Jesse.
All right, here we go. Gentle morning, coffee on the broom, cat underfoot, and a startling vista of possibilities. The bright azure horizon sings of a warm goldenness to come. A basket full at the marketplace, a glance and a smile at a mate, a full-on hug with a friend. In the mountain stream, the cascade falls into the pool. Mists burst energetic from the water wall. Roiling pool paints stories with its turbulence. Around the edge, quiet, contemplative, I immerse and approach the current. The cold invigorates. A bird takes flight and goes where it will.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you,
That
Jesse.
was beautiful. You
I
really took
appreciate
us
that.
there. You took us to that place.
Super.
And Patty, I think that's so amazing because when I first read Jesse's poem and I first saw your picture that go together, I thought, of course. And it's just that beautiful serendipity. It's like, and it's like you planned it. It's so beautiful. And I love to see the pieces come together like that. It really is a gift. I love it. Thank you.
And Elizabeth, it makes such a difference to hear the poem or the story than to read it. Reading it on my own is so dry in comparison to hearing it and by the author. It's really thrilling.
I was thinking exactly the same thing, Arlene. It's just a whole different feeling. Yeah. Hi, KJ.
Yay. KJ's
She's
here?
just in time to read her poem.
Okay.
KJ,
Oh, you're muted. KJ, you're still muted.
We see
He's
you.
making adjustments there. And then we'll get to hear it the last time, which is just beautiful. And KJ did both photographs and poems for us. And it's so nice to see those together and how beautifully those fit. So we'll let her get turned off of mute. And I totally agree. Getting to hear people, it always helps me because as I'm editing and punctuating and things, I think, okay, yes, I think that is how this, and then when you read it, it's like, yay, yeah, it's all working together so perfectly. Yep. Okay, so KJ, you should have an unmute button where you can put your sound on for us so we can hear you. It should be down in the lower left-hand corner.
Maybe she can pantomime the poem. Just kidding. Just kidding.
She's working on it. Yep, there's your camera, but
There we go.
oh, yay, there you are.
Yay!
Can you hear me? Oh, gosh.
KJ,
Yay, technology.
Okay, I could hear all of you. I didn't know, thanks for telling me you couldn't hear me, so. I'm on my phone, not the computer, because I don't have KJ, that email on my laptop, so I gotta be on my phone. So hi, everybody.
Hello, glad to see you.
Good to see you too. Now, I'm sorry that I didn't get a chance to hear you read. Elizabeth, there's going to be a link so we can access this whole event.
Margaret's recording for us.
Oh, great. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
I'll send out the link tomorrow.
Oh, great. And then I can hear everybody. Okay. And you said, are you waiting for me?
It is your turn.
Oh.
You have arrived just in time.
Oh, okay. Thank you. And Elizabeth, thank you for including the photograph, Stella in Blue. That's
Yeah.
actually the window in my mom and dad's house where my mom used to sit and read. So, and those are her blue bottles. So thank you for that. Thank you for everything. The last time, packing my parents' log cabin home, I constantly look up. Hand-painted plates by Mom grace a wall in the sunroom. Stained glass lamps designed by Dad hang in the main room, its huge window giving forth heartwarming views of the mountains. Looking up at the bookshelves, history and flowers, birds and poetry, I look up into the sun-streaked kitchen. Wooden cupboards, their clear glass windows show dishes and cups I grew up with. Mom's banjo clock, for Karen, discovered written in its back. A long shelf built by Dad for Mom's tins and bottles, pottery and crocks, a railroad lantern, an antique. In the sunroom window, her cobalt blue bottles, pictures of my ancestors look down from up high. The loft I know holds boxes of home movies, the projector long gone, film in metal round canisters, most likely melted over time. Months later, knowing this is the last time I will leave here, in the darkness, the house, woods, gravel, all red in the glow of my taillights. I shut off the car, relieved I remembered, quickly launch myself up the steps, quickly before it's clouded over, make my way along the front porch, past the window that looks over the mountains. I stop. I raise my camera phone flat to the heavens. There, wings spread wide, flying free. Cygnus.
Yay, that's wonderful,
Love
KJ.
it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hey, KJ.
I always love how, without planning to, you all weave these elements in together. The birds and the stars were both so beautifully displayed through this whole edition. And it's just beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's just phenomenal. All of you are such a gift, and what you do for Gateway is amazing. Those of you who are always bring us beautiful images, like Patty and Marilyn and Brenda, and of course Jesse, and sometimes sends those images along as well. So we get those images from you, and sometimes we and see who else. And then KJ put in some pictures this time, and I'm always interested to see who else is going to be, sending us a new image. Sometimes we'll get some new ones that we haven't seen before. That's always exciting for me. And of course, I think that's Shirley down there. That's not got a name. I'm pretty sure that's Shirley who does our beautiful,
Yeah,
card, including that nice
way
tunnel
better.
at the end. That was our sign out that I thought was just great this time. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. I think here in a minute, we'll let Jesse play some music and just let folks visit as they want. But before we do that, it's never complete without the commercial, which is of course for next year. And I love doing this. At first, last year, I thought it's going to be weird doing our 2020 reception in 2021, but I really liked it. And it's kind of neat this year because January is just, ugh. Those of you who are not in North Carolina, in the mountains right now, it might be pretty when it snows. Right now, it's kind of bad. So this is a treat. It's kind of a bright spot in the winter. And so we're already thinking about the 2022 edition. And as Margaret and Dr. Boyd said, we've been doing this for 10 years. And this is the first edition of Gateways right here. This is it. This was the very first one. We still have some of these lying around if you want. Sharon McCrum, who did a short story in there for us, actually signed a few of them for us. We still have a few of those signed ones hanging around.
What was the theme, Elizabeth?
The very first theme here, it was
Yeah.
about history. It was a history because it was the college's anniversary that year.
Oh,
We did that. And our cover girls, there's one there. And the other one is April and David Pittman's daughter, Caitlin. And I think I have them talked into something fun for next time. I'm really excited about that. We'll see how that turns out. But we are going to have a lot of fun with our 2022. And since we've been looking up this year, we're going to be looking back next year. So we're going to look back. But as always, people always ask me, I don't know if this is going to fit the theme. And I will usually say, let me see. I bet we can make it fit the theme because there are so many ways to approach these themes. And that's always the really exciting part about it. So I hope all of you will consider contributing to our looking back issue that we'll be doing next year for 2022. We do have some of the folks who've contributed over the years who are going to return. I've talked to a few folks who said, yes, I'll do something. We have some new people who've already promised things. So I'm very excited about that. Margaret's getting our website all updated so that you'll be able to digitally see the 2021 edition and also the submission form for 2022. So
the submission form is up and live. So the link is that on the foundation website, and I'll send that out with the recording of this as well. And the website crew is working on getting a digital flip book done for this issue. So it'll be, people will be able to see it, the whole journal online.
So that's my commercial and my plea, so that I hope that each and every one of you will definitely consider sending us something for next year. Your images, your words, they are a balm to all of us. They are what help us all to keep looking up. So we appreciate that so much. We're so thankful for each and every one of you. And we look forward to when we can hug all of you in person. And as Dr. Boyd said, even those of you who can't we'll still have this component so that we can all be together in some way or another. So thank you all so much for coming this evening. I think Jesse's going to play a little music for us.
Elizabeth, one question.
Yes, Arlene. Yes.
How can I get into the link from last year's recording?
You still have that, Margaret?
I'll have to check. I'm not sure. I think I do, but
I tried to get into it last year, but I couldn't. And then everything got busy and it's.
I'll look into it and I'll send that out with if I have it still, I'll send it out with the one from this year.
All righty, thank you.
Sure.
Thank you all for being here this evening. This has been wonderful. And Jesse's going to play us a little music, and we'll hang around if people want to chat, and we'll be envious of all the people who aren't going to be here in the snow and all those kinds of things. But I'm looking forward to looking back with all of you who helped me look up last year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
appreciate
Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys keep visiting. I'll just sort of play music in the background if you want to. This is a tune written by a nurse midwife lives in Boone. So you say you cannot see, and you say you would not try. I did not say anything. Just let the moment pass us by. But I want to hear your song. I don't care how off key. I've been waiting for so long. Your song could set me free. Oh, now you are my rising star. You're my little witch made from very far, and you are my closest friend. You're my last chance to love again.
Beautiful, Jesse.
Thank you. Yeah. Got a lot of good songwriters around. Here's a tune I wrote not long ago. Don't look now. The sun is spinning round. It's spinning round, it's spinning round, spinning round, round and round, round and round. Round, 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 round. Ooh. How about that now? What's that sound? The pages turning now. They're turning now, turning, turning, turning now. Ooh. Time moves on, the wind keeps on blowing. I move on, one step, keep on going. Ooh. Don't look now. The world is spinning round. It's spinning round, spinning round, spinning round and round and round and round. Ooh.
Beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So that's enough. You guys, it's time to visit because I know you guys have a lot to talk about. How is everybody doing?
Doing good, hanging in there,
Doing good.
Doing good.
Super.
keeping
Yeah.
safe,
What's that?
keeping safe,
Well,
That's
cool.
good.
Yeah.
and trying to still do our thing.
That's right, Arlene.
In the snow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That too.
So, man, I sure am thankful for like video chats like Zoom. I mean, I can't see the video, but the audio is so much better than phone. Zoom really helps out, doesn't it?
It does.
Yes, and you sound good on Zoom too, Jesse.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool because I was going to play music on a Zoom live stream and it makes the music, when I tried it, it makes the music cut out. So the music didn't cut out. You could hear a continuous stream of music.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
it
it
was
was good.
great.
Well, I got to figure out how they do it.
It sounded like a professional studio, Jesse.
Well, shucks.
It did.
Well, yeah, I've got new strings on the guitar. That must be what it is. Yeah, I'm just using that microphone on the iPhone, and that's it.
Sounded great.
Really?
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Yeah. So just, you want some links? I got some videos, got some audio stuff I can send you. Just, just send me a request via email. I'll be glad to send anything.
Yeah, just send it to, look up your email on the invitation that we got.
It
I
should
would
be on
like
there.
to- Okay, I
Yeah.
would like to, I'm going to pursue that. I like the sound of your voice and I like the way you play, and I'd like to hear more.
Super.
So I
Yeah,
will contact you.
we can sure do that. Yeah.
Yeah,
glad
this is
to.
Arlene speaking.
Yeah, Arlene. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good to see you again. That's cool. You're
Say-
back this year.
Good to see and hear you. And I would like to hear more, and I will get in touch with you.
Yeah. I just need to write more. I journal every day and write fiction a little bit, but I need to fire it up and write more fiction. How about you guys?
Yeah, I've been meaning to get onto a writing schedule for a while. I think maybe this year I'll be able to do it. But
Yeah. I just for me, I crave coming downstairs here to the laptop and just cracking open and start, journaling. And it wouldn't be that hard to shift gears for me because I do it every day and decide, well, I'm just going to write some fiction vignette or something. I need to do that more often.
Well, I'll tell you guys a little secret.
Okay.
Whenever I get the new Gateways book, before I look at anybody's work, including my own, I look at the last page to see what the new theme is so that I can get started the next day.
Oh my
Smart
God.
girl.
I've
Elizabeth
already
will be
gotten
happy to hear
started.
that.
Yeah, really, I'm all systems go. I love
That is great.
being part of Gateways, and I got a whole outline of things that I'm gonna choose from and send some more writing in.
Margaret may have to drum us up some more donors. We may have like a 400-page issue next time.
There you go.
That'd be good.
I love
There you go.
reading all of your stories and poems. I read them all at once as soon as I get the journal, and it's just all so inspiring. So thank you for your contributing. It really makes a difference.
Well, and the visuals are so beautiful. The photographs this time are just
Stunning.
amazing.
They
Yeah.
were
It was so, it was so neat to me, Patty. I want to make sure I told you while I had you on here. Your image that we used for the front, right around the time that I was choosing that, my son, who, like a lot of college students, has not had an awesome experience the last couple of years, he was playing this game, which actually really helped him a lot, called Outer Wilds. Nick, have you played this game?
I feel like I've heard of it, but I haven't played it.
It's
Oh.
really, really neat.
Cool.
It's sort of like outer space, but it's got this very scouts outdoorsy sort of thing to it that I loved.
Uh-huh.
And your image, because one of the images that's really prominent in that game is this idea of the campfire going up and then the sparks becoming the stars.
Right.
Which is this beautiful primal kind of image. And so that was, I wanted to tell you how much he loved looking at that and just how wonderful that was and how that connected at the time.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I'm a landscape photographer for the most part, but I had been very influenced by the Bear Dark Sky Observatory and spending time up there with the guys. And so I took my hand at doing some night sky photography, which is somewhat challenging. And I would pass this old dead tree. I'm sure a lot of you probably have on the parkway as well, just south of Highway 80, a couple of overlooks during the day. And I said, well, wouldn't that be cool to try to get the Milky Way with that? So I have special apps that I use to line all that up and, make sure that I'm there under good weather conditions. And it just happened to work out. And you always try to get these night photos without any light intrusion. But as you can see, I think that's Marion in the distance. It gave quite a glow, but I kind of incorporated that and just used it instead of trying to hide it. So when I saw the looking up theme, I thought, well, maybe we'll just use it. I hadn't shown it to anybody or used it for anything. So I'm glad it worked out.
It's beautiful.
Super. Yeah. So you captured a picture of the Milky Way?
Yes.
That's
Up on the
amazing. You
Blue
can do
Ridge
that.
Parkway. Mhm.
Yeah, that is amazing.
But if y'all haven't been to the observatory, I highly recommend it because it's just beautiful up there too.
And Margaret and Boy did not solicit that endorsement.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, but it
that's
is.
just my own experience.
And if you haven't been up there lately to come and see our fantastic mural that's in progress, that's on the planetarium, and neat things are happening up there.
Yeah, I haven't even been up there for that. So good.
And
Is
if
the
you want to see
planetarium
more of
finished?
Patty's beautiful photographs, you can go by the Blue Ridge Boutique Hotel because she is a superstar when it comes to photographs. And she has a different photograph in each room, a very large scale photograph printed on metal so that the colors are very vivid and the image is very durable as well. And we've named each room of the hotel for an area attraction or area destination. And then Patty graciously spent many, many hours in the field and at the computer creating these amazing photos of each location. And they're just fantastic. So next time you're in Spruce Pine and it's during the day, you want to swing by and drop by and take a look at all our photos.
Thanks, Margaret. It was an honor and so much fun. Well, I'm going to say goodbye. It was great to see you all and stay warm if you're in the snowy areas.
Yeah.
And I look forward to seeing you again next time on the Zoom.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Patty.
Take care.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Margaret,
Thank you.
Margaret,
you,
thanks
everyone,
so
for
much for
joining.
what you do. We sure do appreciate it.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I love it.
Super.
And I'm
Same
actually
time
probably
next year. Same time next year.
Yeah,
That's
that's right.
It's a date.
There you go.
Thank you all.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks,
you.
guys.
Good to see
Appreciate it.
you all.
Yeah, everyone take care and stay safe.
Likewise.
And I'll send out the recording of everything tomorrow.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
You.
Great
Sounds
meeting
great.
you all.
Thanks,
Good
Nick.
meeting you too.
Take care,
Take care.
everyone.
Hey, Brenda and Marilyn, it's time to go to the grocery store.
Yeah, Elizabeth, I got a question. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, we didn't get a link via Zoom link via email.
Oh, no.
Neither Shirley or I. So
Shoot.
we took a chance and went back a year in emails and used that link to get on. That's
so
how we got
weird.
on.
Oh
Because
my
it should have
God.
been in that one that I sent. I wonder if it was because sometimes when I send them to a bunch of people, your email filter stops it. And so that may have been what happened, because sometimes it doesn't like, it thinks you're being spammed.
Yeah. Yeah, the recent emails we got from you.
Right, the ones that send
Uh,
straight to you. Yep. And I'm sorry, I didn't see your email. My email froze up, and I just saw your email. So I'm glad you were so clever and did that. That was a good idea.
Yeah, glad we got in.
Yes,
So you think it's in the spam folder?
it may have. That's what's happened
Okay.
before.
Okay. Okay, all right, we'll check that next time.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
That's
For
okay.
I'm glad you got to come.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Hooray,
was
we
fun.
did it.
We did.
Congratulations.
Elizabeth, I did pick up my extra copies today at the Avery campus.
Good.
There was no one there, but I went in and they were on a table, so I just.
It's
helped
okay. Just,
myself.
take a computer or phone.
Thank you.
Elizabeth, for all you do.
Thank you.
So
Thank
much. And I'm gonna check out. Good night, all.
Thank
Good
you.
night. Yeah,
Take care,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
I'm gone too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Stay
Bye.
warm, ladies.
guys have a good night.
Thank
Good
you.
night.